If you're following Depp and Heard, and you have been for a little while, you probably know Amber's got a friend named Eve Barlow. Some people say Eve's a journalist, some people say an ex-partner. The thing is, whatever Eve is someone who supported Amber and still does, and gets out in the media sometimes. Now here's Eve's Twitter, and the interesting thing here is that Eve is actually a little mad at People magazine for one of their covers. But the thing is, People has been largely on Amber's side. If you're following me, you know I've been struggling to find the People article that just supports Johnny, is just positive about Johnny without mentioning Amber or slipping her in there or obviously splitting the attention. Most of what they do is positive towards Amber as far as covering these people. Amber Heard calls her return to the spotlight 1 year after Johnny Depp trial unforgettable. I mean, is a small film festival and an unknown film company or whatever a return to the spotlight? Not really. Amber Heard's In the Fire team talks her resilience after Johnny Depp trial. It didn't change her. And you can see a whole bunch more. Now, sometimes the headline's kind of positive towards Johnny, but then, like I said, they slip in Amber and they split the attention. Amber Heard spotted smiling in Spain, and they say this is under movies or movie news. Really? What does Amber being spotted in Spain like 3 times in 1 month have to do with movies? Well, pretty much nothing. But the one Eve takes issue with is this newest one right here. Johnny Depp feels lucky Amber Heard is doing better 1 year after trial. Whatever that means. They say exclusive sources. So here we see it on Eve's Twitter account, and Eve says clearly Johnny's PR doesn't know how to sell him anymore without superimposing a picture of his more successful ex next to him. More fool, you people. Okay, so Eve is actually saying that you know who, Little Miss Mera, is more successful than Johnny? And that's not a joke. You'd think that's a joke. I mean, that's something Johnny fans say to each other to get a quick laugh once in a while over a morning coffee or something. It's not even a good joke. It's not even that funny. It's so obviously wrong. But Eve is actually saying this? I could sit here and list off Johnny's successes over the last 35, maybe even almost 40 years now, compared to Amber's tiny little successes that she piggybacked off him anyway, but it's not even worth it. Everyone knows. Even if you don't know, you know. And what I mean by that is even if you don't know everything on the list Johnny did, you've got a good idea, all in the back of your mind, things you've heard throughout your life. So the article is How They're Rebuilding Their Lives. Is Amber actually rebuilding? Yeah. They're making a big deal over this one movie that's a real low budget film that's only known because she's in it, and she's only known because she went to trial with Johnny and married Johnny. So it's like a chain of events of only known because of this only known thing because of Johnny. So that's a pretty good way to measure who's the more successful one. But it's painful even having to say that. It's not even necessary to put in words. And then Eve says, how they're rebuilding their lives, separately. Yeah, you got that right, Eve. Great tweet. And of course, Eve shuts off the comments so no trolls can get in there. And Beatrix Kiddo, who you might know, you might have seen around the community supporting Johnny, retweets this with a bunch of laughing smiley faces, crying laughing, because, yeah, it's a pretty funny but yet boring and bland and easy to debunk statement by Eve. And I actually answered and said, depends on what you're trying to be successful at. I'm sure Amber's more successful at playing Monopoly and drinking hot chocolate all night with people she wants things from. I didn't get a heart, I'll give myself one. Walt says, so successful she needed to pretend she was a movie extra in someone else's movie just to get the crowd to cheer. I'll give you a heart too. But obviously, a lot of WTFs and things like that because, like I said, this comment is so easy to debunk that it's hardly worth it. And as far as the actual article from People, well, as you could have guessed, there's a lot of regurgitated things in it, lots of repetition about things John and Amber said over the last month, or something like that. They talk about Virginia. They talk about Amber selling her Yucca Valley house. They say Johnny, quote, feels incredibly lucky to do what he loves. Okay, I could have guessed that. Especially the music. Wow, that's a tough one. They say Amber moved to Madrid. You get the picture. No, I don't want to buy clothes right now, but I get a lot of these ads. So that's it. It seems Eve is still on Twitter once in a while, plugging Amber, defending Amber. And if Eve continues on Twitter, well, I'll continue to pitch in my opinion on her opinion. And of course, you let me know what you think down below. Doing pop culture, entertainment, things like that. Getting pretty hot, no AC, because I work here alone, and if I use the AC all day, it's a pretty big waste of bills, so that's going to be bad for me, but not for you. Rant done for now. See you next time.